we've got the dual steering stabilizer here from BDS. So what's in this box? We have the shocks. I went with the Nitro series here. I mean, these are going to be good shocks. 1, 2, dual steering, and then in this box got component parts that allow us to mount it. Got some instructions here how to put it on. We're going to do that later in this video. Rivet tool, because you got to rivet these on. Mounting hardware, stickers, centerpiece, end pieces here. This goes around the axle. It's going to be a fun project. Stay tuned. Alright, so this is the stuff that we're gonna put all this on today. The instructions, parts, shock, equipment, rivet tool to put on the emblem. I'm a wimp, obviously, because it's a little chilly out. This is an articulating extension, so just in case I've got to get in and reach behind some stuff. But this is the job that we're doing. We're gonna put on dual steering stabilizers. So we're gonna be taking that steering stabilizer off, and we're gonna be replacing it, the dual steering. So try and take you guys along for the ride for the rest of you DIYers out there that are interested in a project like this. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, first things first, read the instructions. That's what the dual steering stabilizer is gonna look like. We're all said and done. So first thing first, remove the factory stabilizer. That's what I just showed you. Remove the mounting brackets that attach that to the tie rod and then retain all the hardware, okay? Then install the passenger side stabilizer mount to the tie rod, factory hardware. Offset will go down. Okay, so our first piece is this guy. That piece is going to go down, okay? Not up, down. Okay, then after we do that, we're gonna remove adjusting bolts and run them front to back so that we can do the clearance. We'll take a look at that when I get in there, because right now I don't know exactly what they're talking about. It looks like they're ran. Then we're going to install the driver's side bracket, which I believe is this guy. Go on the driver's side. We're gonna have to go get a tape measure because we got to measure the distance between the centers of the stabilizer mounts so that we can set it the same as the passenger side. Then we're gonna tighten it to 20 foot-pounds. So I gotta go get a torque wrench as well. This is why you read instructions. The steering stabilizers have to go to the bottom side of the mounts. Okay, let's get time to have some fun. We're gonna get started here. Got my trusty friend with me. We're gonna start out here. These are 18 millimeter top and bottom, and then there's one here, top and bottom. So that's what we're gonna start with. Should be good. Should be. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, pretty simple. The struggle is real. Well, so there's lesson number one. Take the shock off first. We're just gonna take this off, eh? That's just onto the bracket. Maybe you can see what I'm talking about here, but see that? That's what I'm like. I probably should have started with that, but because I took these two off, all I'm doing is really just pulling that off. So, for those of you watching at home, should not have done it this way. Okay. So we got the shock off. We'll get this mounting hardware offline. All right, back here, got that offline. For you other DIYers, I probably should have started with the shock and then taken the other thing off. It would have just been simpler. Now we're gonna get to the next part, which is, I believe, that bracket there I've got to take off to install this one here. But first, We're gonna put that piece on those two holes there. Install with factory bolts, the bottom side. Okay, so we're gonna go top down on it. You heard me. Let's get it. Factory bolts here. Okay. It doesn't say to put any Loctite. Yeah, that guy's on. I get this guy. No, it's not cross-threading. Little PB blaster. Supposed to take care of rust. $60 foot-pounds. Okay. 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 60 it is. You heard the click. Click. Boom. Time to go back to the instructions. All my hardware out here. And back to the instructions. 2A, 2B. So this piece here is going to go on like this. This piece here, bolt on around the axle. My guess is these two bolts there are gonna run through that. It's right here. Install the new center bracket with factory bolts at the bottom side, so down here. Install the new 10mm 30 bolts here with spacer washers into the top mount. Attach the rear axle bracket with the hardware tightened. 30 foot-pounds for the 30mm, 40 foot-pounds for that. That's 2A and 2B. Okay, back in the action in a minute. This is what we're taking off right here. These bolts, a different set of sockets. Back in the action. They're not 10. All right, 13mm. Set it aside. I'm keeping all of my OEM parts just in case I ever sell. Somebody wants to put it back to factory, they can take the lift off, take all this stuff off, put it back to factory. We put this bad boy on. He's gonna go on there something like such. Beautiful. It's a beautiful morning. It really is. I mean, it's a little chilly, right? We are in New England. And it is February. See that? That's why we read instructions. I already started doing this incorrectly. The factory bolts do not go in at the top. We have to install these spacer washers. They go behind, and then the provided bolt goes in. There's one. Those aren't 13mm. These do go back in. These ones on the bottom here. Nope. What I did just there was, instead of trying to force a bolt through, I just wanted to put them back in the same place that I took them out. And I knew when I met that resistance before that it wasn't the same bolt. So I don't know if that's necessary. I just didn't want to cross thread. We're in there. I'll torque those in a minute. We've got our other bolts up here, threading in nicely. Spacers are working. All right, 17mm. I gotta take these off. So now, the next part goes in. All right, now. Okay, so this is what we have so far. All right, you see that hanging out over the front here? Right here. That's gonna connect to this piece here. And then I'll be installing one over on that side in just a second. Right now, you can see those bolts go through. You can see here, I had to put spacers in. All right, you can see the spacers right there. These are supplied by BDS. This hardware here was factory. We're gonna tighten these down and then get back at it. These bolts are 19 mil. We'll torque those in a second. All right, now on to the driver's side. We'll get that hardware installed. All right, so I think an important part here is we have to measure from right here to this part here, right here, because that same distance has to be done on the driver's side. So take a tape measure. I always like going center to center. We're looking at 19 3/4 center to center. So that's what I need to make the other side. Okay, so we got to move this front to back. So here we go. Just throw a little PB on there. That's an 18 millimeter, by the way. Supposed to run that front to back, but that means I'm gonna have to take this, ouch, son of a gun, off. Well, they don't say how that's supposed to come off. Like, mine doesn't even look like that to begin with. All right, that picture there, I only have one. I'm guessing you have to do that for clearance. But this bolt has a square housing that goes into the square housing on this side, and I don't know how to separate that to get that off. Looks like shuck. I don't think that's an appropriate way of doing this, because it's just gonna spin once it gets in there. It won't let you turn it. You can't push it, and I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know. My guess is that you turn this, right, and then you clamp this down. The guess it tightens this so that you're good across that way. But like, this guy does not. He'll go to there, but that's it. Shucks. Let's come back to that, shall we? This guy's gonna go on here. So let's see how much of a problem that causes us if we just go put this in. I know they're telling us to do this for a reason, but my parts aren't looking like the other parts. I can't move those because I have no idea. I'm just following direction. I don't even know what I don't know. And I don't know how to pull this apart. And I guess, if this was a project car that I didn't use all the time, I might try and, get clever, but no, this is my daily driver. Not looking to get clever with a daily driver. I gotta go get my Duncan. Shout out to Duncan, I guess. Now we gotta measure that distance. 19 3/4. We gotta go that way, or too much. I don't know, it just feels right. Good thing math isn't about feeling. I mean, I have no idea how much, an eighth of an inch makes a difference, but I'm gonna say it makes a difference. Okay, nailed it. 19 3/4. Now, we're gonna tighten these down. And we're gonna measure. Make sure we're still 19 3/4. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Might be able to go that way just a hair. Okay. My daughter's boyfriend came over, Scott. Say hi, Scott. Hi. And we agreed, or I convinced him, that we're gonna take this bolt, put vice grips on it, and screw it down because we don't want to mess it up. $18 mil. Whew. There's no torques, man tight it. It's gonna be this like mini boulder presses here. All right. Before I tighten those bolts down, I think I'm gonna put the shocks on. Right, and I know from here to here is 19 3/4. Let's see if we still got 19 3/4. So that'll have to go out just a little bit. All right, like that feels level, but I was saying it's a good thing like math and measurements aren't about feelings. They're pretty specific. Yeah. The instructions now, some of this is just like baking a cake. You just follow the instructions. Grease and install the bushing. I'm just trying to make these, Scotty, for like other people like me that are mechanically declined. to just show, like, hey, it's not that difficult if you're willing to put in the time and take your time. All right, so we've got bushings and spacers and instructions that tell you how to do it. These will go in each one of these ends, and then they'll go in there, right? My daughter, Jade. There's Duke, boyfriend Scott, you already met him. So now we're gonna put these into this. We've got our hammer. Let's put some W on here. It'll be some looby lube. Sweet Caroline.
Bum, bum, bum.
Let's try it this way. A little more control. Son of a gun. These are for all you other DIYers out there. Booyah! See, sometimes you just have to get assertive. Jade, I'm doing this for all the other dads out there that are too cheap to go pay somebody to do this. You think one hit?
No.
Again? No?
One.
Booyah!
I'll count it.
Counts for me. These need to be torqued to 20. Now, moment of truth. Moment of truth. All right. Goes here, right? So let's do.
Go.
All right. I've never done this before. Just bought this. From all the videos I've watched, it's pretty simple, straightforward, but it's DIY, so anybody can mess it. We just put this through this hole, and then it just says squeeze it until it snaps itself off. Boom! It is something anybody can do. Heck yeah. All right, that's pretty cool, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. It was.
This is a rivet tool, and that's it. I had to do this because I knew something was fishy. This has to go on over the top of. This is why I didn't tighten anything down. Take these out quick. We put this on, then we put this in. Goodness. Let's look at those instructions. Yeah, it does go over the top. I thought so. Okay. So I just got to get a little bit more physical with it. There we go. All right. Now I can deal with my strong hand. It is a tight fit. But there we go. We got it. Love it when a plan comes together, as Hannibal would say. Okay. Side A done. Bingo! These are 19 millimeter. What are our specs here? Bitty foot-pounds. Okay, we're just gonna tighten all these down, put the stickers on. We'll be back when it's all done. Okay, so now we're all wrapped up. You can see we've got our steering stabilizers in. Everything is torqued to spec. Give it a look, see? Go start the truck. Make sure everything's flowing like it's supposed to, and then we'll take it for a ride. Okay, let's go take it for a ride. See what it feels like heading down the street. It's already feeling better. You can see it's pulling a little right, probably alignment. You know, they couldn't quite get that dialed in, but I don't feel as much play in the steering wheel. We're only going about 40. So I'm gonna sign off and I'll sign back on when I get on the highway. We'll see how that's gonna go. We're at about 65 right now. That feels a lot better. Feels a heck of a lot better at speed. Really like it. So I wasn't up at the 70, 75 like I'm normally driving, but that felt really good. So head back to the house, clean up the work area. And we'll call this a success till the next project. Peace.